everybody, it's Kelly, and today I have a layout that features this photo of my youngest grandson who had just learned to walk, and he was doing this crazy sort of almost Frankenstein-like walk. It was very funny. So that's what this picture is all about. So I'm going to use that damask background paper, and that is from Echo Park Capture Life. It's the damask paper, and you would never think you'd want to use that for a boy layout, especially a little boy layout, but I'm going to use that as the background paper for this layout. And then on top of that, I'm going to put that bokeh paper, which is Echo Park Capture Life, and that's the reverse side of that damask paper. So that's the B side right there. And I've had these papers for quite a while, so I'm not going to get the damask paper just because, I've had them for a while. So let's get them used up and on a layout. I'm going to ink the edges of the bokeh paper with my favorite gray flannel Memento Dewdrop ink. And that's because I want those edges to stand off the paper a little bit and have a bit of a shadow. So now I've got that down. So I have sort of the basic background. And now I found this chevron paper, and it's also from Echo Park Capture Life. It's a cityscape paper, and it is a picture, it's chevrons with buildings and that kind of a thing. But I'm going to use a piece of this, and you're really not even going to be able to tell that there's buildings in the background at all once I get everything on it. So that that paper is going to sit just kind of about there, but I'm going to change things a little bit here. So now what's starting to happen is then I found that Echo Park Capture Life Love This paper. That's the name for these 3x4 cut-aparts, or the 3x4 cut apart paper, and I'm going to use the little 3x4 cut apart that actually says Love This. And once I do that, I realize I have a monochromatic layout going here. And it wasn't anything that I intended. It just kind of happened, as things sometimes do. And I really love how this kind of turned out, especially since he's wearing kind of a minty turquoisey green shirt there. And I think that chevron paper picks up really well on that. Now I just cut a 2x2 square from the cut apart paper, which is the Capture Life, Echo Park Capture Life Memories paper. That's where all the 2x2 squares are on that, in that collection. And these collections are older. I didn't write down when they were from, but I'm guessing 2014 or earlier. Maybe 2015, but so they're probably at least 2 years old. Anyway, so I'm going to put that square down there, and what I'm doing is now I'm kind of bridging that little sort of gap that was between the photo and the journaling card there, or the Love This card. I'm not going to actually journal on that. I'm going to journal on the 2x2 square. And I suppose I could have journaled on that Love This card about his silly walk, and actually now that I think about it, I might actually do that, but this photo I think is enough to remind us all of the silly walk that he was doing, and I'm going to call the layout Toddling, so that that will tell the story just there. All right, so I'm straightening that photo out just a little bit because it was a little bit crooked. And now I have my basic part of my layout done right here. And really then all that's left to do is kind of the embellishing. Now I am going to stick with Echo Park here between Capture Life and Everyday Eclectic, I think with a little bit of creative agenda in there as well too. So I found this date banner sticker there, and that came from Echo Park, and I'm just going to stop saying Echo Park unless I use something from another company. Everything else is Echo Park, but that date sticker is from Everyday Eclectic, the alpha sticker sheet. And then I found that hot air balloon, and that sticker is from Everyday Eclectic, the element stickers. And it has nothing to do with balloons here, but it is a monochromatic color there, And I think that's perfect. And just, you know, he's kind of launching, he's starting to walk. So I think that movement is kind of a nice thing here. Now I found these clouds, and those came from the Everyday Eclectic Element stickers as well, or this cloud. I went looking for another one. I happen to have 2 sheets of these stickers because I bought them at one point, and then I bought a collection pack, and I still have some of them left. So I'm going to use these and just put them one on top of another here. And this was a beautiful spring day. It happened to be Easter Sunday when this photo was taken of this year. And I'm doing something here. These stickers are a shiny sticker, but I'm still using my Memento Dewdrop, and there's not a ton of it that kind of stays on there, but there's enough to create a little bit of a shadow, and that's really kind of what I wanted. All right, now what I did is I put the clouds up in the top right because that will help balance off all of the photo cluster and all the embellishments down here on the bottom left. But you'll still get a nice white background here, or bokeh background really, but it is pretty white with just a little bit of a hint of blue and a little bit of tiny bit of what looks like a light from the bokeh. Going through those stickers again from Everyday Eclectic to see what I can find. And I also went through my Creative Agenda collection, and that is the element stickers from Creative Agenda. And I found that little phrase that says, write this down, which I thought was important because I'm recording something, so I just thought it was kind of neat to do that. Now, I found that little tiny sort of like speech bubble there, and that also came from the Creative Agenda stickers as well. Okay, so just kind of playing with a few other things. Now I have this little sort of Viewmaster reel, and that is from the Capture Life Element stickers. And right now I'm poking out the holes from the Viewmaster here. And that little sort of speech bubble that I just kind of tucked mostly down in is just giving me another spot to land more embellishment. I guess it's the background for embellishment. That's why I used that. I thought I needed something coming above that date sticker, so that's why I did that. I'm going to use this Viewmaster here to kind of soften those edges, because right now it's pretty rectangular. That cluster's pretty rectangular. I do have the circle sort of element of the top of the balloon, and I do have the clouds on the layout, but now I'll have that Viewmaster, and that will help with the circular element. And then I'm going to add another circular element in a little bit, and you'll see what that is to kind of help with this as well. All right, so I got that down, and I was just looking because I didn't want too many different pattern papers showing through everything on behind that Viewmaster, so that's kind of what I was looking for. Just gluing things down a little bit more. And now I'm thinking about my title. And I'm going to use the letter stickers from Everyday Eclectic, the alpha sticker sheet. And I think that's really cool that I'm able to use these because the colors are going to match perfectly. And I'm using up some of those letter stickers, which is fabulous, just because I have so many. So it's nice that I'm actually getting to use them up. Like I said, I love the Everyday Eclectic collection. It's one of my all-time favorite collections, but it's time to use these elements up, and I really did a nice job of using up quite a few sheets of paper with this particular layout, so I was really happy about that. Now I'm looking for some enamel dots here, and I'm thinking I need them in aqua or turquoise color, just because obviously now I have a monochromatic layout. So I'm just going through a few things to decide what I want to do. And I found my doodlebug there, and then I found these Bella Boulevard enamel dots in the ice colorway, and I have not used any of these. So it's time to get them on a layout. And what I like about these and what I don't like about these is they're pretty big. So I just never seem to get them on a layout because they're so large, especially the biggest size there. But in this particular case, I need to break up some of those straight edges, and these big round enamel dots are going to help do that for me. And there's really kind of two colorways here, a darker kind of turquoise and a very light turquoise, and I'm just going to spread those two kind of around the layout, both those colors in different sizes. And that really helps me get that color around again, but also it helps me get the circular element back in the layout again. So I love how that ends up looking. And that big dot on the right by the Love This there is really big, but I'm trying to get over it. I just have a hard time using them. I think if I use them as a border, it's a little bit easier for me to do that, but I don't do that very often. So it's time to get these used up if I absolutely can. I think I got them in a warehouse box. Not this year, but last year. And I just haven't used them because they're so large, as I've said. Now I'm kind of looking because I feel like the top of this layout is unfinished, and I went back and forth a couple times on whether I should use that border sticker or not. And I did not write down where that is from, but I believe that is from the alpha sheet already. Also, if I remember correctly. And what I decide to do here is just put it on the top and bottom of this chevron paper, and then I am just going to clip that there so that it sits on the layout on the top and the bottom. It feels more finished. And I don't know that normally I would have added that stripe with another stripe, which is basically the chevron, but I kind of like how that looks, and it's just a little bit of a different something. So last but not least, I took my Slick Writer and I wrote the date, and now I'm just going to use my regular journaling pen there to put just a tiny little bit of journaling. Like I said, I might end up going back and embellishing the story a little bit more. Here's the still shot and a couple of detail shots. Hope you're all well, and I'll be back with another layout again soon. Bye!